Hello everyone, and welcome back to RF&P Productions. Our channel's namesake railroad, the Richmond, Fredericksburg, and Potomac, was primarily built around a northern terminal at the Potomac Yard in Alexandria, Virginia, and a southern terminal at the Acca Yard in Richmond, Virginia. Fredericksburg, Virginia served as a middle ground, though it had initially been the northern terminal before taking on a more specialized role once the railroad was extended to northern Virginia. The once bustling classification yard in Alexandria suffered the fate of many other yards like it in the early 1990s and was torn up, replaced by both residential and commercial interests. As a result, the Acca Yard in Richmond, Virginia is the largest yard on the former RF&P territory and marks the starting point of today's Richmond exploration. We begin our day at the Bryan Park Shops, located off the passenger main alongside Acca Yard. 3 diesel locomotives can be seen awaiting their next assignment. Keep an eye out for the 2 wide cabs as we will be seeing them again later on. This facility specializes in locomotive maintenance and is CSX's base of operations for maintenance of way equipment manufacturing and repair. Sitting beside the locomotives is a parade of MOW vehicles that were recently serviced or will be shortly. Acca Yard serves as a major connector for CSX's networks in the southeast to those in the northeast. Its length, sitting at around 2 miles long, makes it ideal for staging cuts of cars for trains to pick up. RF&P manifests rarely originate from Acca, but almost every single one interacts with the yard in some way. Any RF&P rail fan will tell you that waiting on a northbound manifest of interest always hinges on how long they take working Acca. Yard jobs shift cars around almost constantly, from the first shift in the morning to the third shift overnight. Acca Yard was built to sit in a bowl, such that switching operations are conducted by dropping cars as opposed to kicking or traditional flat switching. Similar to kicking, dropping involves easing the rail cars down towards the track to which they are destined, and allowing gravity to take over and guide the cars towards the center of the track. How they differ is in speed, as cars can be kicked at several miles per hour, while dropping sees cars released at no more than a brisk jog. This schematic of Acca Yard is the best that I've found, showing the intricacy of the 38-yard tracks, the passenger main around the yard, the Bryan Park Shops to the west, and a transflow facility to the east. South of the yard lies AY Interlocking, where the Richmond Terminal subdivision meets the North End subdivision, also known as the A-Line, and the Bellwood subdivision. Take a minute to pause the video if you'd like, and soak in the magnitude of Virginia's largest freight classification and switching rail yard. Our first road train of the day was Marine Intermodal I-135, with traffic from Portsmouth, Virginia to Chicago, Illinois' 59th Street Yard. The interlocking at AY serves as a crew change point for I-135 and all other RF&P northbounds. After what felt like a lengthy stop, solo lead number 3350 gets moving north up the passenger main and bypasses Acca Yard. After we'd gotten our fill of Acca Yard, the railroad took us to downtown Richmond, where we positioned ourselves adjacent to the Peninsula Sub Viaduct to watch a unique operation unfold. As unit trains, both loaded and empty, make their way into Fulton Yard just to the east, they are forced to carry out a complex maneuver to actually reach the yard. For northbounds like this G956, trains slowly make their way up the Bellwood Sub until they are fully past the old Main Street station, at which point a set of light engines will meet the train and tug them backwards towards Fulton Yard for a crew change. The pair of Gevos that appear to lead this train are that exact helper set, while the train's original lead locomotive is providing support on the other end of the train. While this operation was taking place, we noticed remnants from a derailment several days prior still sticking out like a sore thumb in the Kanawha Canal. Due to factors we still don't fully understand, although we figure the intense heat played a major part, these three hoppers filled to the brim with corn took a bit of a detour and fell right off the bridge into the water. Recovery crews were quick to arrive on scene, but this was no ordinary derailment. Eventually, these hoppers were pulled gently from the water up to the road below the tracks and transported off scene by truck. Suffice it to say, they won't be seeing the rails for a while, if ever again. As for the loads of corn, they weren't a total loss. The fish community of Richmond, Virginia, was quite grateful for this otherwise unfortunate incident.
36, okay.
After the grain train was put away, we changed locations to downtown Richmond, where we see Amtrak 67, the daily night owl from Boston, Massachusetts to Newport News, Virginia, arriving at Richmond Main Street Station with Amtrak's Phase 2 Heritage Unit leading the way. While chasing down yet another CSX train in downtown Richmond, an NS local crossing the James River caught our eye and forced our hand. A quick U-turn followed by an even quicker process of setting up our equipment allowed us to capture this crisp, piercing P5 as NS 3302 pulled V24 through the floodwalls and into the city. As the local made its way east through town, it passed on the bottom level of Richmond's iconic triple crossing as it followed the ex-Southern trackage to West Point, Virginia. On the middle level of this attraction is the CSX Bellwood subdivision, while the top and arguably the most active level of the three is the eastern limit of CSX's Ravenna subdivision. The two wide-cab diesels from the Bryant Park shops earlier on can be seen again here, leading CSX X415, extra manifest from Richmond to Rocky Mount, North Carolina. They arrived at the crossing at the same time we did, and we didn't have enough time to set up our equipment before they passed through. As crews worked to continue derailment cleanup and make the CSX Peninsula subdivision fully operational once more, a brief delay had to be taken as CSX's geometry train W003 came to town, headed to the Bryant Park shops to tie down. This unique little train is responsible for inspecting trackage along CSX's entire system and makes its way to our neck of the woods around once a year.
Thank you.
As our day in Richmond was wrapping up, the opportunity for what we believed to be our final train presented itself. Just south of Richmond Main Street Station on the Bellwood subdivision is this trestle bridge over the James River. Completed in the year 1900, this bridge was a target of ours for the entire day, and CSX G229 made certain that we would not leave without filming at it. Now you might be asking yourself, why does it look like this grain train is exiting through castle walls? And we wondered the exact same thing. Richmond's network of flood walls protects low-lying neighborhoods and businesses from catastrophic flooding from the James River. A lesson learned after storms like Hurricane Agnes in 1972 brought the James River to some 28 feet above normal levels. As I alluded to earlier, G229 was not to be our final train, as NS Local V24 had to have the last word. As we made our way back to the car from the Trestle Bridge overlook, we heard SD40-2 number 3302's P5 ring out once again, and knew it was showtime. Thank you all so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video and learned a thing or two about the rails of Richmond along the way. If you have any questions about the places we went or the things we saw, please let us know in the comment section down below, and have a great rest of your day.